watch the Happiness Letter episode, you'll remember that Joseph Smith propositioned Sydney Rigdon's daughter, and she becomes one of the heroes of Mormon history because she declines Joseph Smith's super manipulative and, I would say, predatory advances.
Wrong. The only person that authored the Happiness Letter that we know of today was John C. Bennett, who wrote it in a letter to the editor to the Sangamo Journal a month or two after he personally, John C. Bennett, was excommunicated for polygamy by Joseph Smith in Nauvoo. Yes. So what is the Happiness Letter? Well, it's a fake letter, never located, never seen by anybody, and only referred to by John C. Bennett in several of his exposés accusing Joseph Smith of polygamy. It has been used by Joseph Smith's detractors for close to 200 years, accusing Joseph Smith of proposing polygamy to Sydney Rigdon's daughter, Nancy Rigdon. But of course, the letter doesn't mention plural marriage, nor does it even mention Nancy Rigdon's name. It simply talks about happiness. But somehow, a letter as benign as talking about the sky was blue on March 31st, somehow it has been used over 200 years under some mind control experiment proclaiming that Joseph Smith somehow proposed plural marriage to Nancy Rigdon, even though the letter doesn't mention Nancy by name, nor does it mention plural marriage, and which John C. Bennett had just been excommunicated from the Mormon Church himself for polygamy and for abortion. But let's not allow the character of the abortionist and fake Dr. C. Bennett get in the way of a good story, because the Happiness Letter just speaks about happiness. Wasn't written by Joseph Smith, wasn't in his handwriting, and nobody has ever even seen an actual letter. But again, why allow a fake story to get in the way of a fake historical fact that everybody keeps referring to like somehow it's an authentic story, when it's never been authenticated by anyone, and they won't even allow it on that fake Mormon site called Joseph Smith Papers, because not even they can verify the letter as being authentic. John C. Bennett referred to a happiness letter written, he said, by Joseph Smith, but according to Mormon Document Forgery Central, the origin of the letter is so suspicious they can't even claim that it is authentic, because number one, these are the facts, said happiness letter has never been located or found. 2, Nancy Rigdon in a letter to the WASP and Sydney Rigdon denied that the happiness letter was ever sent to them, and that Nancy Rigdon claimed that the happiness letter that she had, if it indeed existed, was not written by Joseph Smith, was in a different handwriting and by a different person. Here is the exact quote. Rigdon reported that his daughter Nancy declared that she never said to General Bennett, she never reported to him or any other person that she had said letter, and that said letter was written by Mr. Smith, nor was it said letter in Mr. Smith's said handwriting, but it was written by another person and was in another person's handwriting. How clear can you get? Nancy Rigdon herself said that the letter was not written by said Joseph Smith, was not in Joseph Smith's handwriting, and was in fact written by a person other than Joseph Smith. And of course, it is my belief that said letter was not written by said Joseph Smith, but was written by said Sydney Rigdon, because it just reeks of his style, his highfalutin Scottish Enlightenment style of writing. Okay? How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. Or roses are red, violets are blue. Will you love me, Nancy, and be my true one true? I don't know. but the letter has been denounced by Nancy Rigdon herself in a publication, but of course is breathlessly trying to get you to believe that it is somehow authenticated, even though the letter has never been found, located, and probably never existed except in the diseased brain of John C. Bennett, that abortionist and polygamist himself, who wanted to turn the Mormon Nauvoo Relief Society into temple prostitutes, divided by the colors of their veils. Yes, he wanted the white-veiled ingenues to be clearly the prostitutes of the entire Nauvoo priesthood. The green veils would be the women who were chaste enough to be married, and the black veils, of course, were the senior citizen women. This is John C. Bennett's diseased brain, and now John Dehlin wants you to believe that Joseph Smith had an equally diseased brain as John C. Bennett, and I call foul. You don't have any evidence. It wouldn't be accepted in court. And your continual misrepresentations of the facts should be halted, because you are as guilty as John C. Bennett and Sydney Rigdon of perpetuating false history.